It's absolutely fantastic to be here today in Seoul, a super connected city with all that technology has to offer to all of our sectors, including higher education. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. My name's Halima Begum. I'm the Director for Education, East Asia British Council. My role here today is to help us think about the connectivity of our discussions and the dialogue here today, chairing and moderating the plenary session this morning with two fantastic speakers who've been at the leading edge of using technology in their universities to show us what technology can do and what more needs to be done. So this session really is a scene setter for us. University represented here. But what I wanted to do for us in this session is to listen to a video clip from the Open University to set the scene really for our topic ahead of us today.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I'm so sorry I can't be with you in Seoul today. But certainly what you're talking about at the Global Education Dialogue over the next 2 days is of critical importance, not only to all of us here in the UK, not only to our colleagues and friends in Korea, but to students, to institutions, to governments, to employers right around the world. The future of our higher education system, the future of skills, the future of growth are of critical importance to our nation, and the role of technology in enabling education institutions to meet those challenges is of utmost importance. Here at the Open University, we're incredibly proud of the leading role that we've played in distance learning, using black and white television back in the early 70s to today using cutting-edge technology, online tools, world-class analytics to deliver for our 200,000 students. And it's been remarkable to think about the changes that we've seen even over the last few years. You know, we've seen the advent of these open courses online ever since we had Wikipedia first bringing knowledge and education and data to the internet in 2002. We've seen a huge shift. The creation of iTunes in 2011 and the massive emergence of MOOCs in 2012 have really opened up our institutions to thinking about what online education means in today's world. It's mad that we provide entertainment, that we provide banking, that we use online rules and online techniques for our social lives, but we haven't yet embraced it in our educational lives. And it's wonderful to see so many education institutions, both in that conference today and indeed in all of our work on a daily basis, ensuring that they're beginning to learn how we can use cutting-edge technology to meet the demands of our students. I think the crucial factor for us all is to think about three areas. The first is how we create world-class higher education for our students in digital domains. Yes, of course, the face-to-face environment is still of fundamental importance, but the fact is that demand and supply are moving in staggering ways. We have an insatiable appetite for higher level skills and higher level education in our world, and it's crucial that we meet that. And we can't just do that through bricks and mortar, we have to do that through high quality clicks and mortar too. And so the real focus for us at the moment as an institution, as Britain's biggest institution, is to make sure that we continue to create world-class teaching and learning resources. At the moment, we're so proud to be near the top of the National Student Survey year in, year out. And that's because the personal relationship that our tutors build with our students and creating those high-quality, flexible routes for all of our students is of critical importance to us all, I know. The second is how we create greater plurality of supply in an environment which is so often just about an 18-year-old going to a residential institution for 3 years away from home. Now that has worked for centuries and it will go on working for many, many years to come. But the fact is that we have to diversify our supply side. We have to create a greater plurality of supply. And that means greater collaboration with employers, that means greater role for alternative providers in some cases, but it also means greater bespoke, greater flexible, greater blended and flipped approaches to our classrooms. What role can technology and digital resources bring to reducing cost in our classrooms and in our lecture theatres, but also what role can it play in enhancing the quality of our teaching experiences. Let me give you one example. We've been trying to ensure at the Open University that we engage more people in our study, and one of the ways we've done that is through our pioneering BBC programmes. Nearly 1 billion people a year watch or listen to some of our BBC content every single year, and they then begin learning journeys. Millions of them go online, hundreds of thousands order posters, tens of thousands download ebooks and interactives, and then hundreds upon hundreds sign up for fee-paying accredited courses. That journey from free to fee, from informal to formal, is going to continue to evolve over the years to come, and I think we all have a collective responsibility to think about how our education institutions can use these sorts of routes and channels to make sure that our students have even greater choice in the future. And the third and final area where I think all of us have to really focus, both in the day or two that you've got to come and in the future over the coming years in our institutions, is the people in this story. Yes, the technology is fantastic. Yes, the analytics are incredible. Yes, there are a whole range of open source solutions out there. Yes, we've got this whole new emergence of online enablers helping universities to take on technological advances. But we also have to remember that the focus here is not the technology in and of itself. It's about people, and about two sets of people in particular. First, it's about our students. It's about making sure that we understand their lives, and that if they have technology to have greater choice and flexibility in every other part of their life, then we should provide that in our education provision too. And it's crucially also about our academics. So often in this story, we forget those people. They're already under pressure, they're already doing 17 jobs, and they're concerned that this is just job number 18. They're concerned that this technology thing is going to take them away from their core business of teaching and learning. It's up to us, it's incumbent on us to show and to demonstrate and to prove that actually technology is an enabler for us to build even closer relationships between our academics and our students. Frankly, the reason that many of these academics, many of our professors, many of our educators came into this profession in the first place, to teach, to provide great quality teaching and learning. And I think if we focus on all of those aspects, if we focus on the students, if we focus on delivering for our economies and for our nations, if we focus on creating greater plurality of supply and being creative and innovative in our methods, not only will we create a greater efficiency around our education systems, not only will we deliver for our students, but we'll play a stronger role in building the economies of the future, lasting, sustainable and fair, so that all of our students, irrespective of their circumstances, irrespective of their ability to pay, can access high quality, world-class education from the very best universities on the planet. Certainly I know all of our colleagues at the British Council are determined to play their role. Certainly all of us at the Open University are too. And we look forward to working with you in that endeavour.
Okay, so quite a lot of provocation from our keynote speaker, Rajay Naik. And really, we wanted to let this stimulate our conversation with our live speakers here today. And we want to kick this off. So I'm just going to summarize those three burning issues that he talked about and let you react to that if that's okay. So the first was how we create world-class higher education in the digital domains, and how the digital can flex, enhance the quality of education offer. So he talked about moving from bricks and mortars and clicks and mortars. The second was around the growth and diversity of that supply, and how you get that 18-year-old to think about education in a different way through flexible, blended ways of delivering more provision. And finally, and I think for me the most important part of it, was actually around the people that are concerned in this expansion of higher education professions. So students, absolutely, let's put them at the forefront, but also the academics that are the shapers of that technology to be an enabler. So these are the three issues that he flagged up. And now, President Hwang, I'd like to first go to you to invite some reactions on your thoughts and your experiences for the last 30 years on how we consider this debate today.
My name is Sun-Hye Hwang, president of Sookmyung Women's University. As a women's university, we are pretty keen about using the new technology. And speaking of of course, his comments and also the technology development in higher education, we want to go as far as our university can go. Speaking of women's university, I just a very short, brief introduction of the school. The school was first founded in 1906. That's 109 years ago by last empress of Joseon Dynasty. And their dream is to educating women for national independence from Japan. And obviously, the dream has come true by accommodating women's education. By that time, the women's education, what we call institutionalized education, was quite rare. So the school was almost the first private university funded by the royal family. So at this point, as it was revolutionary, this digital revolutionary is another choice for our school to go ahead. So speaking of the pace of technology development, of course, we cannot really follow as much, but we will try because it does give benefits, especially for the minority group. And I'm not saying that women are minority group here in 21st century anymore, but for those who are underprivileged. But then if they can only have accessibility to the internet, they can have all totally new world through the internet. So I would say that this revolution should go on, and our university will really follow that. If we cannot really leading it, but at least we really want to follow and take all the advantage of what it does give us.
Thank you very much for that introduction. It sounds like you're already, pioneering so much for women in higher education going forward, and this is another opportunity, really. Thank you. And I guess now over to Dr. Minh and Vietnam, and your university in particular is very technologically focused as well, so I'm very interested to hear your thoughts and reactions.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning. And our university is very different with your university. That's the only thing that I heard that your university is 109 years old, and our university have only 8 years old. And yeah, it's less than your last thesis in the years of you. But APT University is born in digital age. So up to now we have 18,000 students, and about 11,000 students study in IT. And all our university is based on IT. That means every student should have their own laptop for study at the school, and almost materials is online. We are a private university. Why is the university like APT is found in the time? Because APT is name of corporation in Vietnam. APT is the largest company in IT in Vietnam. I think similar to Samsung or LG here in Korea. And we focus on develop the IT solution and outsourcing for company in USA and Europe and so on, and we need a lot of develop a good one, and the others, the traditional university from Vietnam cannot support enough the qualified staff to fit in our company, and then we move the part of corporation training to develop the university in Vietnam, and it's quite successful. And that, I think, in the new areas, new era of the digital, many things will happen, and something born on the digital age and support for the our technology revolution right now.
Thank you. It is remarkable to hear about the journeys that you both describe, and I'm struck by the history of 109 years of your institution and yours, which is running for 8 years. And I guess the thought going around my head, as it is probably in the audience, is as actually how time becomes irrelevant in this discussion when technology is going to change the pace of what we do. So time pretty much collapses. And both your universities are probably looking into the future in a very equalizing way. And that's the advantage of technology, I think, and the pace can change very quickly. So that's going through my mind at the moment. Before we go to the audience, can I ask you both to reflect a little bit on the factors that you consider when you decide to adopt some of the changes leading your own university in this context where technology needs to be embraced, and in particular, which technological interventions would improve teaching and learning and research to universities? So not governance, not efficiency, but teaching and learning as it affects the students. Dr. Minh, how would you answer this question, and what does it feel like in Vietnam?
At our university, I think we have a different student than before, because they got very good skill of the IT, not because of we teach them, but because of they living on IT before, and not someone, but I think almost of them have better IT skills than our staff, and we have to, let's say, teach them about IT, but of course another thing about IT, and it's quite a bit of difficult. Using IT in education and at the university right now is necessary, is essential. Everyone using that at the school, and one of the most efficiencies for at our university is for communication, and we use the most tool at our university is not library, it's not the computer lab, but Facebook, because I myself communicate with our students via Facebook. Our teaching staff create the group and classes on Facebook, and they are all joining and discussion, very interactive, discuss about the topic, assign the task, and upload the document or upload the materials to add the link about the topic, and it's very interactive, and it changes the learning and teaching environment. And I think they will move further. It's I think it's very long journey to find out what is the real university in the future, because right now we're talking about MOOC, we're talking about blended learning, we're talking about the project-based learning at the university, we're talking about the flipped class, and many things. But this very beginning of the shape of new university in futures, and at our university, the same thing. We have to look around. We have to a lot of discussion, how to go to this way or this way, because you know IT infrastructure is huge investment, and we cannot invest a huge investment for 1 or 2 years. And I think we are all in the journey to find the way to build up, to shaping a new type of the university of the future.
Thank you. So your 8-year-old university, where students live and breathe technology, is still not being complacent about how you adopt technology and how you make your university relevant for the university of the future. And it's very encouraging to hear that.